squat every day, 1203, 200 kg, 13 days in a row with a rant. So pretty much I watched like a little bit of the video, and like halfway through the rant, I wanted to stop so I could get like a better reaction, but the beginning of the rant sounded good, and I thought I would make I don't know, maybe make some comments on it, and like I don't know, maybe compare it to like games and like aim training and like FPS, or maybe whatever game, cuz yeah, that's what I like. So thank you, Ivan Jurek, for the rant. Keep it up. Alrighty.
Today marks 13 days in a row of hitting 200 kilos. For a single, which is basically 94% of my 1 rep max, which is currently standing at 212 and a half. 94%. How long can you be redlining your body for is the first idea in my head right now.
So right now he's talking about squatting between about 90 to like 95% of his max, like every day, and he's done it like 13 days in a row.
And the second idea is maybe that max is not so much my max. Maybe this percentage is much lower. Maybe it's 90%. Regardless, it's not going to be 80%, so I'm not that strong. So how many days in a row can you be hitting 90% plus of your 1 rep max before you burn out? Before the body gives out, before all of that happens. So on the first day, I introduced some power training or jumping, and I've been feeling really, really good. So it sparks all of the, spark plugs. I get up and about, get to the bar, feel good, and I can exhibit near maximum weights.
So this is nice because like I work out a little bit, not like Ivan, or I don't know how to say it exactly, Yvonne. I'm like a casual gym enjoyer, so I want to kind of relate this to like maybe gaming and like more specifically aim training in general. Um, so he's talking about, so lately over the last couple days he started like jumping before he does like his squat sets or whatever, and he's been feeling really good. So I want to know if this is at all, or if I can like relate this at all to like aim training. I don't think so, because is there anything that you can do before you start like aim training to like help yourself out a little bit, outside of like taking like maybe a cold shower, maybe, and that's like debatable, or maybe like any FPS, like that's your main thing, you don't even aim train, maybe you just like do FPSs or whatever. I don't really know, like maybe take some sort of like nootropics or something, and even that's like arguable, like get your mind going or whatever, but I don't know.
Yesterday was the hardest day of all. Yesterday was day 12. Felt slow, had no pop. Felt like half the bloody spark plugs were not even igniting. Hit 200 and I felt that one. The bar slow down brutally. And when you're thinking about effort, when you're thinking about RP, when you're thinking about, how close you are to a maximum lift, all you really got to do is look at the speed. I don't think too many people are moving 90+% weight, and they're pacing themselves. When you're lifting near maximum weight, you're putting everything into the bar. You want to get this thing up as soon as possible, because you can't be doing tempo squats with 95% of your freaking max. So yesterday was hard, felt it. Today I've woken up and I'm like, okay, let's get it going. I start hopping, I start jumping, start warming up, and I'm like, I still feel like I'm not getting up high in the air. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel explosive. I don't feel like I can jump. And so
maybe he's talking about like his neurons, or like maybe getting used to the stimulus of like jumping. So now he needs to like maybe he needs like maybe a little bit greater stimulus to like keep going. But he does it for like a 13th day, so it's got to be working. But I'm surprised that like since he started jumping, I think he just jumps as hard as he can, like just straight up. What would have been really cooler is to see him like maybe get like what's one of those like little jump things where I think they use it in like combines. Like you jump and it's like a pole with a bunch of little like markers that you jump up, smack it, and you get 3 tries to like smack each one like higher and higher. I wonder if that could have helped him at all. You know what I mean?
So, it could be all mental, it could be all, psychology and all of that stuff,
Where's
but I
his
felt
mental?
like I wasn't jumping high. I felt like I was jumping higher before. And so I started getting worried about today as well. Didn't have that pop in me. Got to the bar, started moving. This is hard, right? But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, how is it feeling compared to yesterday? It felt better. It felt better all throughout, and even the 200 felt better. So I'm thinking in the back of my mind, okay, so you're maxing this thing out pretty good. How many days can your body sustain? Nothing hurts. So I just want to reiterate that. Like, usually when my body starts to break down, when I start to kind of feel worn out, I start to get hip discomfort, namely right-sided hip pain, which
Same. I know like when I start squatting for like I don't know, 80 to maybe 90% of like my max or whatever, like my hips start to hurt even though I think I have like okay mechanics. I think Ivan's mechanics are better than mine. But yeah, I'm the same way. I can't lift nearly as much as him though. But yeah, my hips like they just start to hurt.
I've spoken about this, ad nauseum, man. Is it the TFL? Is it the adductors? Is it freaking whatever? Um, I feel great. I feel great. I just don't feel very strong and explosive. Now, a lot of this stuff is like I know if today I went to the gym, that 200 would have moved much better. The conditions at home are such that the bar is really stiff. Uh, the weights are all more than 20 kilos. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. And I'm squatting on concrete. So why does all that matter? Well, number one, the weight's the weight, right? It has been the same for all the time. I'm training at home, so there's
Yeah.
no change in that. But the bar and the concrete have a lot to say about it because in the gym there's a wooden platform which, no matter how you look at it, gives a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a basketball court. For those of you who played basketball, when you play outside on a concrete court, you feel the joints, you feel the insult. It's not as
Yeah.
fun as playing on a
You could feel the insult more when you're older, all right? Way more. So like when I was like a like younger and I played like on the concrete or whatever, you're just like, "Oh, no, this is nothing." You're just going and you don't even pay any mind to it cuz you're fine. You're made of rubber. You just go. Uh Whenever I do anything on concrete or like if I try to like run or jog or whatever, I feel it hurts way more than it used to. That's probably just like you're getting old type thing. But yeah, I can definitely understand how he feels that way.
concrete court versus a proper, wooden court, um, indoor court. It's a big difference. So when you're squatting on concrete with a stiff bar, basically all the absorption your body's taking. So there is no bounce. There is nothing to kind of brace yourself. So a lot of the time, when you're doing a near maximum weight in the gym, like on a platform in a whippy bar, you can go down and the hardest part of the lift, you kind of bounce out of it. Like, the weights get you up and the floor even kind of breathes a little bit. The shoes, everything breathes. But when you're squatting on concrete with a stiff bar, you're literally getting guillotined, you're getting stapled to the floor, and then
Yeah.
you have to unstaple yourself from the floor. So it's harder. I didn't want to go to the gym and take the easier road out. I wasn't feeling it anyway. I don't want to go to the gym most days nowadays, but Today kind of felt all right, like felt better than yesterday, but I'm still not feeling extra explosive. Clearly it's fatigue, and this might not be very popular, but I don't think it's related to all the 200 kilos that I've done in the last 12, 13 days. I think what's really fatiguing me is all the other stuff that I'm doing alongside that. When you do 700 freaking bodyweight.
Okay, so it's all he thinks it's because of all the accessory type movements that he's doing alongside with the squatting. Because the actual squatting, like however long it takes him to work up to that, and the couple other moves that he does after this, yeah, it's like it takes a lot out of you, but I'm pretty sure he does like a decent amount of like accessory work that really just taxes you, and you're like running on fumes. And when you're doing that, running on like going like squatting like 90-95% or whatever, plus all the other accessories, it's like you wind up, you're redlining, and eventually your body is gonna it's gonna break or whatever, is what it seems like.
Weight squats. It's a lot of work, man. And on top of that, when you're doing these jumps are not done slowly. They're doing you do them as fast as possible. You want to get air, right? As high as possible. So these three things are taxing me. It's obvious. I'm getting power training in, I'm getting strength training in. So I'm doing 1 rep maxes, on the power clean, on the power jumps.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of the training sessions. Then I'm doing strength portion, and I'm pushing that all the way to the max. So that's proper strength training. And then on the back end, which a lot of the time you guys don't see, I'm doing hypertrophy training,
Yeah.
or let's say endurance training, muscular endurance training. So I'm doing concurrently multiple different qualities at the same time. And, whether you like Western periodization or not.
So at this point, pretty much the video part, like all the visualization stuff is like over, and he just rants on for the rest of the video. So like I said, I've listened to like a little bit of it, and I thought it was really interesting, and I just want to listen to like the rest of it and just give my 2 cents. I think it's cool.
This is hard to do. This is why Western periodization likes to break it up into different blocks. This is not the only type of periodization I might say here. There's many different types, but for the most part, the viewers that are watching this video are probably thinking, man, you got to split this into blocks. Well, if you listen to Louis Simmons, he will say to you that this stuff, the Western periodization, was outdated back in the 70s. This idea of have a hypertrophy phase, have a strength phase, have a peaking phase, have a deload, and repeat with adjusted numbers. I've tried that in the past, and that was basically the most boring shit I've ever done. There's just no excitement coming to a training session. There's nothing left to wonder about. There's nothing. It's literally like coming in, hitting the clock, and doing the prescribed numbers.
So that type of phase, I wonder if there's any possible way, I doubt it, to like apply that to like FPS or to like aim training with like anything or whatever. More specifically with like mouse and key. That's what I'm kind of curious. I mean, from what I see, there's been a couple, I don't know, more or less cycles where you do like one day is your static day, and you do nothing but like a bunch of different types of static. The next day will be like your static dynamic day, so you're hitting like moving targets and clicking. Another day will be like a precision day, like a precise day, and got your left, right, your up, down, all different types of diagonals and whatever. And let's say, what else? Let's say you have your reactive day, left, right, reactive, something like that. And then you have like a strafe only day, work on your strafes. That's essentially like the main cycle that I see. Just to like, as like a more type of maintenance, to like maintain your aim, as long as you're within 10% of your best score, you're still, if you PR, great. But if not, are your lows getting higher? Oh, they are? Okay, well then, awesome.
I don't like that. I like the idea of coming in and seeing what the body has to offer and then adjusting on the fly. And then also training concurrent periodization, where you're doing multiple qualities at the same time. Now, concurrent periodization, as I understand it, doesn't necessarily need to be done on the same day. You can have Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and you have 3 different qualities across, 1 week rather than one day. Anyway, a lot of that stuff comes from me playing sports. Like, it's very, very hard for you to be doing block periodization while in season of basketball or soccer or football or whatever. It's very, very difficult to do that. So this type of concurrent periodization is better catered to athletes that are actually playing.
So the block periodization is better for people that actually do sports. So I wonder if that's the same for like shooters, if that makes sense. If there'd be a way to make that for shooters.
Not that I'm playing, but that's kind of how I. This is my background, and this is what I love to think about. So if you don't get LeBron to squat or do anything, any sort of stuff throughout the season, that's a long period of time of not training. So rather than having block periodization in the season, you're doing concurrent periodization where you train all of these things at the same time, every training session type thing. Anyway, this is the periodization I love. This is what excites me. This is who I am and what this channel is about. I hear what you guys have to say. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to take 2 days off, 3 days off, 5 days off, all that sort of stuff.
Uh-huh.
If I did a lot of those things, the fire for training wouldn't be the same. You need to just understand that the very nature of this channel is what feeds the channel. If I started chasing numbers, if I started chasing things that don't excite me, this channel wouldn't exist. I'd stop training.
So essentially the channel is based around squatting every day. And I'm assuming that there's a lot of other type people that are telling him, oh, you should be taking this day off, that day off, X amount of days for rest or whatever. But Ivan just is like, I hear you, but I'm just still going to keep doing me. That's pretty much what it sounds like.
And this is why I do what I do, because this is exactly what gets me excited to train. It's not just a physical expression, it's a mental, it's an intellectual. It's a project, it's a thing that I'm trying to sort out, and it gets me excited. But if I start doing block periodization, the very thing which makes me freaking yawn, to be honest, it just doesn't make training exciting to me. Now, that is me, right? That is me. And I've said this multiple times. We all need to find our way in life. You need to find what makes you tick, and you gotta put the blinders on. You gotta stop listening to people and just do what needs to be done for you by you.
That is the truest true. He was probably talking about, like, everyone's telling him to, oh, take this rest day off, take that rest day off. But he's just gonna, put the blinders on and keep going, So, like, for me, like, I have my job that I go to. I work for 24 hours and then I come home for 2 days. And then on those 2 days, I go to the gym in the morning, like hour and a half ish, sometimes a little more, maybe hour 45, it depends. And then I come home and then, eat, shower, whatever. And then I just start to like aim train on Kovacs for 2 hours. And all the Kovac scores are going up and whatnot, slowly but surely. But I mean, god dang, it's like I'm already at like over 1,000 hours on it, and everything is still going up. But it's like the aim is sometimes it's shaky, sometimes it's not, or whatever. And it's like the more I expose myself to like all these types of media, or like if I'm on like Reddit or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, I saw this dude. Oh, this guy got master complete already. This guy, other guy got GM complete or whatever. And it's like, oh, it only took me 200 hours. It took me 500 hours and I'm GM or whatever the fuck. It's like I'm happy for that person. I'm always happy for like M&K bros to like get like really good really quick. But I will always wonder, like, are they gonna keep at it and like maintain and try to get better, or are they just like comfortable? It's like, okay, I got I got my thing that I wanted, and now I'm just gonna stop and like do something else and like just stop training or whatever. And that's like kind of disheartening, you know? To see somebody like get really good at something and then just stop because it's like, oh, got my trophy, time to dip, you know?
If you're constantly reacting to the environment will grind your ass down into a fine dust and you will stop.
That is also fucking true. I pretty much just said that. Oh man.
You will cease to exist. You will stop doing everything. This is why there's a lot of unhappiness in the world, because everyone's listening to everyone on the sidelines, and
Yeah.
who do you listen to? There's 1,001 people out there, 1,001 different pieces of advice. Who do you listen to? If you start listening to one, you might as well listen to all of them, and then eventually you end up grinding to a halt. That doesn't mean you completely stop hearing people. You're hearing people, you're assessing, you're learning constantly.
Exactly, you know? If so when I started aim training, I think I started like reading the Aimer 7 guide. Then off of that, I found Voltaic. I started doing Voltaic. And then off of that, I realized, oh, there's like all these like different aimer groups that all have their own list, and it's like, oh, okay. Then oh, there's Aim Lab. Oh, there's Aim Beast. Oh, there's other game or whatever. And it's like there's different people that are at the top of each little like game or whatever, and they all have like their own tips and tricks to like help you out with or whatever. And it's fine to hear that, but you can't be like overwhelmed by it. Because it's easy to get lost in the sauce.
But deep down, you have to superimpose all of that information onto your belief system, onto who you are, what you want to do, and then you go from there. Because that is the ultimate thing, man. That is the thing that drives it. Screw motivation or inspiration, all this sort of shit.
So motivational and inspirational stuff is fine, like get you going and to start. I think it's good in the short term, but sucks in the long term, because you can't get like motivated by like the same motivational speech, same motivational song or whatever the heck. You can't get like motivated every time by the same exact thing because it loses its effect. So like there was nothing really for me. It's like there was nothing that made like in the beginning, like I thought aim training was like cool or whatever. It still is or whatever. But like in the beginning, I was like I would be inspired by like the Phase Clan, 360 no scope or quick scope montages like back in the day, and be like, oh, that guy was awesome or whatever. And like that was all done on like a controller and whatnot. But I think it still holds true, because back in the day that stuff was like cool to look at. Listen to whatever little song, and they're doing like the spinning and the quick scoping, and when you're like 12, you're like, oh, that's awesome, I want to do that. But like actually going in and with like M&K on Kovacs, you get humbled real quick. And it's very like demotivating when you suck that much, like starting at bronze or whatever, and like all the scenarios. And you go at it, and then you see like, oh, I got a silver. Oh, I got a gold one time. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, I'm platinum complete. Oh my goodness. Where did that come from? A couple hundred hours later. And then, oh my god, do I go to diamond complete? Oh, I better. This feels nice. It's like dopamine on dopamine. Every little increase in rank feels good. And then once you're diamond, it's like, okay. Well, this is like for like season 3. I'm like more talking about like where I first started Voltaic season 3. And And once I hit diamond, oh my god, I'm gonna go on to the harder scenarios, and then oh my god, I got a couple jades. Maybe I'm like decent at the game or whatever. And I didn't realize like aim training was like the first skill that like I started to develop that I wanted to develop. Just like because like I don't know, it was a fun thing to do. It seemed like a linear, like the more time and effort I put in, like the more dopamine and like sense of a pride and accomplishment I got out of like getting each rank, for lack of a better term. And it's still like that for me, I think. But I want to go ahead and see what Ivan has to say.
What do you want to do? What excites you to do? Do it. And this is what excites me to do it, even though, let's say, it is the most ineffective way to train. Whatever. That doesn't faze me, man. What I like to do is what I like to do, and this is what it is. And I want to squat 30 days in a row and 200 kilos. Makes me happy. Gives me this intellectual, gives this psychological good feeling. I've fought a mountain, I've battled a mountain.
Yeah.
I'm mentally durable, I'm mentally tough, I can withstand this sort of stuff. Discipline, consistency, all of these things feed me, feed my spirit. That's what makes me happy, man. As crazy as that might sound to you, man, what makes me happy? No, I'm not looking forward to going into my meet and setting the world record. No, I'm not chasing views or likes or dislikes and all that crap. I could not give a shit about any of those things. This is my journey. This is me sharing my journey with the community out there. There's a lot of you guys that support. There's a lot of guys that offer opinions. That's all fine. But I just want to explain to you where I'm coming from. I'm not very worried about people calling me dumb. This is dumb. That's dumb. You're an idiot. You're doing this for this, that, the other. Nobody does anything for 1,200 days in a row if they don't like it.
That is very true. So I could probably say the same thing about aim training and like going to the gym, I think I've been going to the gym for like a couple years in a row now. Like I mean, I have like days off or whatever, but like I'm still going to the gym. Um I think the same thing can be said about like aim trainers, cuz like I don't really know cuz like working out and aim training are kind of similar. So like I think weight training and like all that stuff, like weight training, powerlifting, bodybuilding, all that stuff is like a little bit, well, not a little bit, probably like way more older than aim training. Aim training is still relatively new. Like aim training is only like, I don't know what, like about 3 to 5 years old or something like that. It's still pretty new for like gaming and stuff. Like bodybuilding and like strongman, powerlifting, whatever. That stuff has been around longer. Um, so I forgot what I was gonna say. God dang it. Okay, maybe let me listen. Let me listen.
Nobody. You won't find too many people out there doing something they hate every single day. Not only do it, but talk about it.
Okay, so I see a lot like on Kovacs. You can like click a name and see how many hours somebody has in it, and it's like nobody. I would like to say nobody really has like a couple thousand hours, and they dislike all that like time playing or whatever. If you put the time in, eventually you're gonna get like the big payoff of Grandmaster complete, Master complete, whatever, Nova, Astra, Celestial, whatever. Um, Much the same way with like working out, even if you don't have the best genetics and you're just working out, as long as you do so like okay for like many years, you're still gonna look awesome.
On video, after the video, so you can bet your bottom dollar that this is a little fun project for me. And I'm always constantly reminding myself, do what you want to do. And a lot of you guys said to me, Ivan, how come there's no sponsors? Ivan, how come there's no advertisements on the thing about this? But none of this stuff phases me, man.
Do what you want to do. If you just want to play your game and that's it, and you don't think you could be like any better, like without like aim training or anything like that, I mean, that's fine. Do it. I mean, it doesn't matter whether or not you do it. The thing that matters is you're doing what you think is right.
I've had offers, people come to me, and it always rubs me up the wrong way because their principles, their ideas, their mottos don't align with me. Simple as that. And I don't want to make this a job. This is my little experiment, and I wanted to keep it mine, and that's the way it is. So I don't even like allow the message, the nature of the video to go too far away from my actual thoughts and what I want the videos to be. Call me unique, call me crazy, call me stupid. Ivan, you're leaving so many kilos on the bar. Ivan, you're leaving so many dollars on the table. Ivan, you should do this. Ivan, you should do that. You just post on TikTok, post on Instagram, post on this guy or that guy. Make a third, fourth, fifth channel, spread it out, collect.
So I think what he's trying to get at is like a lot of people are telling him he's got way more opportunities that he could be monetizing his stuff on, and he just like doesn't care about it. You know, he's just chilling with his YouTube channel, and then that's it. Which is fine. You know, he can do whatever he wants. It's just whatever, man.
Why don't you call this guy? None of that shit makes me excited. As simply coming in, squatting to the beat that I want to squat to. It is as simple as that. A lot of you guys that have watched this channel for a long time, you will understand where I'm coming from. Yes, I'm unique. I don't give a shit about money. I don't give a shit about all these experts out there that know exactly what needs to happen. The way I look at it, man, we are.
That's a really like, I don't know, I was gonna say healthy, but like that's a good thing to like not care about money, but you know, you should always try to improve your situation wherever you're at. Um and once you have like, I don't know, some set amount of money that you're happy with, you know, most people are just okay to like just chill and like enjoy their life or whatever. Um I'm pretty sure this isn't really the case if you don't make a lot of money, like was it like less than 12K a year or whatever, like you're in the bottom tax bracket, or I don't know exactly. I'm just talking out of my ass. And then I think like what's the number? It's like 75K is like the point where it's like up until 75K, like your happiness goes up or whatever. And after that, there's like diminishing returns after that. I don't know. Um, but I think that's what he was like getting at, you know? He's making like some money. He keeps his job. He's like making a little bit of money off YouTube, and he's just chilling. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're so unique. You should monetize like this. You should monetize like that." And he's just like, "Nah, I'm cool."
They're all going straight into the grave in X amount of time, and no one gives a shit whether you're setting world records or not.
Yeah.
Who are the people that are setting world records in powerlifting? And who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about any of those guys?
Who gives a shit about any of the guys that, I mean, does anybody remember who won the fucking Call of Duty World Cup, like, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago? Nobody. Does anybody remember, like, I don't know, the Rainbow Six Siege champion from like 3 years ago or something, the Fortnite champion from like 2, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, however long Fortnite's been out? I mean, unless you're like in it, unless you're in that like little bubble, it's like, no, you don't really remember.
You set the world record. You've pulled 500 off the floor. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you want? You want a handshake? What do you want from me, man? The hell do you want from me? No one gives a shit. We're not fighting for a lot of money here. This is not an NBA contract that's going to go 5 years, 250 million.
So I think he's talking about the specific situation that powerlifting is in. You know, if you set like a world record, you're not gonna get like $1 zillion for like lifting this hard ass weight that you've trained for years to like get up to. Much the same way is with aim training and like FPSs. Um, let's take Apex for example. What was like the World Cup, or not the World Cup? Like, was it the LAN event? Like every LAN event is like only like what, $1 million, and that's paid out to like multiple, like the top 10 teams or something, like divided up evenly or something like that. Like the pool is 1 million or something. It's like you put a lot of time and effort in to like learning something, like a unique skill, and then the payoff isn't even that much. So I think there's kind of a similarity. I can draw a line of similarity between the two. It's just that the money's not there for either of my hobbies.
This is shit, man. This is shit. The very person that sets the world record tomorrow is gonna have to go sell some freaking shit products like a protein Powerade, a protein shake, which he doesn't even freaking believe, so he can get paid, so he can feed his kids.
Oh my god, that's so true. You win like some trophies and then you get some sponsors from like some energy drink and be like, "Oh guys, I was drinking this energy drink the whole time. This is what made my aim sharp as hell."
This is a world record holder right now. Will need to eventually sell products to the masses and lie through his teeth to say that this is the shit that made him get there.
Yeah.
That's my point, man. The point is, none of this shit matters. Whether you're a freaking #1 powerlifter or you're a scrubber like me somewhere in the backwaters of South Australia, no one gives a shit. So having that said, fuck it, man. Do whatever you want to do. And this is the thing I'm trying to portray. It doesn't matter, man. If you want to squat with the bar resting on top of your freaking forehead, do it, man. If that shit gets you hard, do it. Do it.
Yeah, the same way. The same way I think the same thing can be said with, okay, this is going to be a hot take. The same thing can be said with like controllers versus M&K. You know, pretty much in the scene of like gaming and like shooting, if you want to be like make money, your only games are CS, Val, and that's it. And even then, I would probably say CS over anything. Any other game is like what? Like what's a controller game that it's like you make a lot of money at? I don't know. Call of Duty, Halo, Fortnite, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. You know. So do whatever you want, man. Don't let anybody tell you what you need to do. You know. Oh, the skill capacity of M&K. There is no ceiling. There's a limitless ceiling. Yeah, but you have to put in so much effort. Yeah, but there's way more opportunities if you're halfway decent on controller.
Oh no, but this world record holder trainer, the person, with the pink moustache said you need to do this. Good for him, man. Good for him. I want to put that bar square on top of my head, and I want to squat that shit. Oh, the sponsors won't like that. Fuck the sponsors. I don't give a shit about any of your products. I don't give a shit about any of the other crap. This is a bloke that wants to squat the way he's talking about it. Even if he makes mistakes, that's his shit. Don't care. I'm a free spirit floating through the sky.
Yep.
That's me. I don't give a crap about any of this external stimuli. What a rant, but it gets me triggered when people start pulling stats left, right, and center. when people start talking about, oh, look, man, there's a research paper by Yale University, there's a research paper by Harvard University, this guy has a 14-inch penis and he knows everything about powerlifting, you have to listen to him. I could give a fuck about him and his papers. I ain't setting world records. Even if I set world records, no one gives a shit. Just relax. Do your thing. Live your life. We're all going beeline straight to the grave in 30, 50, 60, 70 years. Like someone gives a shit. No one gives a shit, bro. No one gives a shit. But we get amongst it into all this stuff. Like, I'm going to go at him. I'm going to tell him he's a dumb ass. He's a dumbass. For doing what he's doing. I'm going to tell him that he could have put 2.5 kilos extra this week.
Oh.
Ivan, put another kilo on the bar tomorrow. In 1 year, you're going to have 365 kilos on the bar extra. Bruh.
Bruh.
What are we doing, man? Do whatever the fuck you want to do, man.
Yeah.
Do whatever the hell you want to do. And if you're 18 years old listening to this shit, you might think to yourself, red flags everywhere. Oh my God, anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. Once you get to mid-30s, some people get to mid-40s, you truly realize that no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
And when you truly realize that, you let go of all that anxiety and you do the shit that you want to do. Like putting 1,200 freaking episodes of Squat Every Day on the channel and talking about this shit and getting abused by all the experts out there. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. All this sort of, all the experts come out of the woodwork saying that this is what's going on. You've let that breath out. You feel comfortable about your existence. You know exactly where this is all heading, this whole life. And you feel good. You make mistakes. You do things suboptimally. And it's a fucking beautiful thing.
I think the same can be said about aim training in FPS. Like, a lot of the times, like, your goal is to strive to do things optimally and efficiently. But a lot of the times, people just end up doing things suboptimally, like not as efficient, you know? Or maybe if it's not even FPS, maybe it's like some RPG, you know? You're not using the best build, you know? You're just using the build that's good enough. Everybody, you know, you're doing a group thing and everybody just needs to be good enough to down the boss or whatever. And yeah.
I love suboptimal shit. I love it. It is beautiful, mate. Beautiful. Rubs people up the wrong way and is the very expression of freedom.
Yeah.
Optimal. What a toxic fucking word. This isn't optimal, Ivan. Like I give a flying fuck about who optimal is. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Tomorrow's going to be day 14. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump, I'm going to squat, and I'm going to do some bodyweight squats. Cannot freaking wait. Appreciate all of you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Oh, man. Good video.
Today,
Good freaking video, man. Freaking awesome. I love that rant at the end, all right? That was awesome. Yeah. Gamers are the same way, dude. Gamers are, you know, back in the day, there was no such thing as optimal, you know? There was no internet. There was no guide. Everyone was just puttering around, doing whatever. It was only because of, like, YouTube, internet, whatever, you know, everyone started becoming optimal, and efficient, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, I think, but it kind of led you into a feeling of like FOMO, like fear of missing out, into like if you're a gamer or whatever, like, oh, if I'm not using this gun, not using this loadout, everyone's gonna shit on me. If I'm not using this talent tree, this build with this points into that, and I don't have this gear and I don't have all this other bullshit, I'm not gonna do as much damage. I'm not gonna clear the thing. You know? Unless it's perfect, I'm not gonna be able to do it. And I think that probably has like led to like a lot, like maybe some sort of anxiety. It's like, oh, anxiety for gaming. I don't know. Yeah. So good video. I like it. I like relating it to like games and shit. So peace.